Let's talk about the situation with those documents and Joe Biden, because you will remember last year, and we talked about it a lot on this show, how Donald Trump was being demonised by the left because there were some documents in his home in Florida, and this meant that he was selling secrets to the Russians or whatever. All sorts of nonsense. As usual, when the Democrats point the finger at Trump, they themselves have done far, far, far worse. Rita, take us through what James was talking about and where we are now in terms of, it seems every day they're discovering more and more documents that this bloke was hiding, not only in Hunter Biden's Corvette, but elsewhere.
Yeah, on 4 separate occasions, his lawyers, who, by the way, aren't entitled to look at these classified documents. They don't have the clearance. And yet the FBI, the Justice Department, declined the opportunity to be there to supervise these lawyers who are working for Joe Biden. So that they're having access to these documents. God knows what's on them. What we do know is, as Vice President, unlike President Trump, he doesn't have the power to declassify any of these documents. So that's an important thing. But the timing of all this, the manner in which it's happening, the way it's being leaked, the fix is in. The Democrats have decided, I think, that he is not the candidate for 2024. They have known about this, as James said, since before the midterms, but they were careful to cover that up. And when I say the Democrats, I'm not just talking about the elected members. I'm talking about the propaganda arm. I'm talking about the enforcement arm, which is, you know, these Justice Department, the FBI, the intelligence agencies have become so politicised. They have become an extension of the Democrats. And so this was covered up until the midterms were done and dusted. After the midterms, we're getting these damaging leaks. And no matter how much the media is going soft on this, the American people are outraged. Well, actually, there was a poll out just in the last 3 days. Even a majority of Democrats want this investigated. Quite a significant majority of Americans say this deserves a full investigation.
And Rita, you are now actually starting to see some reporters at the press briefings with Karine Jean-Pierre really starting to arc up because, for one thing, they were played for incredible fools, and they were fed the whole story about, you know, nuclear secrets hidden in, you know, Melania Trump's underwear drawer at Mar-a-Lago. I mean, literally, that is how crazy and insane it was. But so not only are some of the press starting to move off the reservation, but also this is actually starting to hurt Joe Biden in the polls. I spoke with former Trump Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney on Friday for the U.S. Report, which is on, by the way, every Friday at 8 p.m. now. Have a listen to what he had to say here.
The downturn that you've seen in the last couple of weeks are tied to these documents, and I think there's a reason for that. The press beat up so hard on Donald Trump on these documents issues. Democrat lawmakers beat up so hard on Trump on these document issues that Trump had at Mar-a-Lago. They've almost been forced to say critical things about Joe Biden in the press. So the mainstream press here now is beating up on Joe Biden for the first time in 2 years.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is really actually starting to have cut through. This is real trouble for Joe Biden because the other element to him is that, you know, now he is useless to the Democrat establishment because he can't just be a rubber stamp for the progressive agenda coming out of Congress. The Republicans have control of Congress. You're seeing this rearguard action to get Merrick Garland to appoint a special counsel to look at this, and they would hope, you know, put a whitewashed, sanitized report out on this. But, you know, now that Joe Biden is essentially a lame duck, there's a lot of people who want to clear the field for the 2024 primaries and not risk running this guy again in 24.
Rita?
But I think as much as this is an issue, it is the politicisation of the intelligence agencies and Justice Department. The fact that they're not recording the interviews. It's almost like Hillary Clinton 2.0.
Correct.
They're giving the same treatment. The cover-up is in already. And how long can they get away with this? Because there's now, again, the polling shows, James, that the American people have lost trust in these institutions that are there to serve their interests.
There you go.